I'm not a math and sciences girly, but when it comes to stupid things like this, I am. Yes, I absolutely am, and I will figure it all out for you. Hello, welcome back to my floor. We're in a new spot again today. We're trying them out, and I'm sorry if the audio's bad, because we will see. They've also been doing construction on and off over the last couple days outside, so I just want to get this done, so we're gonna film. So yeah, let's get into it. You saw the title, you know what's going on. But also just, you know, there will be a first section that's just very updatey. If you're not interested in that, skip it. It should be timestamped if I'm doing my job. But yeah, we'll just start with that. I know last time I was like, oh, this is the direction I want to go, blah, blah, blah. And then I had this idea, okay? Sometimes ideas happen. Let it be. I'm also debating now if I want to do that at all. And if I do that, if I just put it on a different channel or do it somewhere else. Because, I like the very unserious vibes we have going on. I'm not here to be serious. I'm here for a goof, for a gaff, for a little bit of fun, a little bit of whimsy, maybe even. So yeah, I'm in a weird spot with that, but we'll just see what we make until then. Yeah, notes. Do I have anything else? Okay, yeah, so we're just gonna hop into the rest of it. That was the entire update. Thank you for spending that 30 seconds with me. This video is about the song London Boy by Taylor Swift. And now you might be asking yourself why. Because me and my boyfriend were talking about songs this weekend and just music in general. And I was just like, oh, you know what's so insane? This song. Because at the time I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's talking about doing that all in like one day or like a couple days. Like it's not a whole thing. Insert clip of Taylor Swift quote where she's talking about it being like actually 3 years or whatever.
Okay, now logistically, I just want to kind of get around the lyrics of this song. Now, was this supposed to be all in one day? And if so, how does Taylor Swift get around? Do you have an Oyster card?
This is supposed to be over the course of 3 years.
Okay,
I was
right.
like somebody told me like they think that you're talking about one day, and I was like, oh no,
yes,
you'd never make it.
That's not any of my problem. My brain just kept going, yeah, wouldn't it be really funny if this was all one day and could you do it? Hi, just popping in as a quick like editing note, just for some clarification things I realized I left out. Excuse me. Oh my god. For one, this is coming from someone who lives in London. I do live in London currently, so I know what this is like, traveling around. Yeah, also, I know my baby hairs look like that. Did I know when I was filming? No. Did I have to find out while editing? Yeah. So, go Bass. Enjoy the rest, please. Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah, so that's where we are, and that is why I am breaking down this entire song by location things that get mentioned. So yeah, this is just for goose, for gas, for fun. I do enjoy the song. Yeah, we're not here to take anything too seriously with this. I enjoy Taylor Swift music. I'm not her biggest fan in the world, and I will never claim to be. So, let's see. I will go through and kind of mention all the locations she says in the song, and then I'll give you the breakdown of what I've learned about if this is doable or not. Did I go test this myself? No. But on paper, I know the answer. Yeah, so let's just start with that in-song breakdown. But before we get to that, actually, there's something I want to address. So at the beginning of this song, you have a clip of Idris Elba from the James Corden, like, Tonight Show or Late Show or whatever version of nighttime television he used to do, right? Where he's talking, and he goes, we could go driving on my scooter, you know, just around London, right? And, like, I know when he says that, he means this, like, this Vespa he is pictured with here, right? But my brain, the first two images that come to my mind every time I hear this are one, the stupid electric scooters, and that is so much funnier to me. Just like, imagine this photo, but it's Taylor Swift going around London like that, right? Like that is, there's something comical there, right? Or it is these bikes that always have the very large L's, like learner's permits on them, and are only ever used by people who do like food delivery and stuff, right? Those are the two kinds of scooters that enter my mind first. Not cute little Vespa, because you just don't really see that here. Yeah. So jumping into the song and everywhere she mentions, in chorus 1, I also would like to specify some of these, if they get repeated multiple times, we're just pulling off of the one I decided to keep on my document. It might not be the first time. But yeah, so in chorus 1, she says she enjoys walking Camden Market in the afternoon. And then in every chorus, she also mentions being taken back to Highgate to meet all of his best mates. Okay? Highgate is in like northeast, northwest. It's kind of like very just like center north London. It's on the east side of Hampstead Heath. For context, Camden is a little more into central. Verse 2, she talks about enjoying the West End. Now here's my beef with the West End, right? This is outside of the Taylor Swift song. The West End is in central London. Like, I know it was the West End when, like, London was being formed, but, like, it is quite literally just central London, and that is so funny to me. Chorus 2, she enjoys nights in Brixton and Shoreditch in the afternoon. For context, Brixton is south of the river, and Shoreditch is northeast of the river, from, like, central, right? In the bridge, she asks to be shown Hackney, and mentions she does not need to be taken to Louis Vuitton on Bond Street. Bond Street is in central, Hackney is on the east side of London. And then she also mentions that she is like a Tennessee Stella McCartney on the Heath. The Heath is most likely referring to Hampstead Heath, as that is the prominent heath in and around London. Heath is just a style of park. And then in chorus 3, she talks about how she enjoys walking Soho and drinking in the afternoon. Cool. Those are all of the locations that are relevant for this, right? So now let's get into what I believe could be a doable schedule if we take this song as happening over about 24 hours, really about 36, because we're kind of including a bit of the day before. So if in the song we take the phrase, took me back to Highgate, met all of his best mates, we can just assume that they are staying in Highgate because that is where the man in the song is from. I know the song's probably about Joe. Do I care? No. I'm just going to refer to the man as the man in the song, as he is unnamed within the song. Right? So let's assume they start in Highgate, right? And that the night before she met his friends and they watched rugby in the pub, because she talks about that too. And that any reference to the Heath is they have gone to the Heath, because you can walk to the Heath from Highgate, whatever. But we're starting in Highgate, and let's assume that they are, walking distance from Highgate tube station, just for convenience in all of this, right? And let's say, like most people, because London, everything starts at 10 a.m. or later, they're leaving for about 11 a.m. to start their day. Perfect. I will be giving you both time and money calculations during this, and I am so sorry. This is how my brain is working for this. So, taking our 3 courses where she goes between Camden, Shoreditch, Soho in the afternoon, and then Brixton at night, that is our schedule for the day. So from Highgate, we have to go Camden, Shoreditch, and Soho. I did put them in that exact order because geographically coming down, that is the most convenient way to do all of those. And then I do have everything timed out. So, and if we're lucky, maybe I will pop up some things I enjoy about these areas, because I have been to all of them except Brixton. So we're leaving at 11 a.m. from Highgate. It'll take you about 15 minutes to get from Highgate to Camden. They're on the same tube line. Most of that is walking, because when you come out in Camden, you do have to walk about 5 minutes to the actual market that she's talking about. So let's assume you get there by 11:15, and you're gonna stay for just over 2 hours. You leave around 1:30. That's about enough time to do Camden Market. It's a lot of shopping. It's a lot of stalls that claim to be individual sellers, but are really just people who buy and sell in bulk, and it's very much like the equivalent of seeing what drop shipping looks like in real life. It's not the most thrilling place to be, but it's nice. And let's assume they're going to pick up a lunch there, right? So total, this first part of the trip costs them £1.90 per person for the tube. And then it also, assuming we're doing lunch, is £15 a person. It's a lot of street food, so that can switch it. If they sat down, it would be more, it would be less. Okay? So Camden to Shoreditch, that's your next bit, right? So from Highgate to Camden, you kind of went down a straight line. Shoreditch, you're jumping over, and hopefully I will have drawn you a map that is popping up as I say this. Who knows? So Shoreditch, you actually would stop at Old Street Tube Station, not Shoreditch. Shoreditch is only the overground and it's just not convenient from Camden. But that takes maybe 28 minutes to get to Shoreditch. With walking time, it's not actually that hard to get places. And Shoreditch is a weird area to say she's in the afternoon, because what people refer to as Shoreditch is really only about maybe 3 square blocks. I'm assuming within this song she is also referring to areas like Brick Lane and Spitalfields Market and like walking down towards Liverpool Street, because those areas just have more to do. But technically you would refer to those areas as either, most people here refer to those areas as Brick Lane or Shoreditch or just Whitechapel or Liverpool Street area. Like, you're not really referring to those as Shoreditch, if that makes sense, right? So let's assume, because there's a little less to do there, it's a little more walking based, it's very spread out shopping if that's what you're doing. And it's shopping you have to be really into, because like Brick Lane is mostly vintage, and then Shoreditch is a lot of restaurants, and then Spitalfields area is very, again, food based, but then also stores, but it's a lot more like, there's a Lululemon in Shoreditch. It's not like cute little individual stores, right? Let's assume you're gonna spend an hour and a half there. It's mostly walking around. Looking at the street art is a huge thing to do over there. It's all really cool. I would suggest that. So let's assume you spend an hour and a half there. You're leaving at 3:30, right? To move on with your day. Just, to get from Camden to Shoreditch, it would cost you about £2.80. And assuming that's the only thing you're doing, you're not buying a bagel from Bagel Bake, which I would recommend, or you're not picking up a treat or anything in Spitalfields Market, or anything else. Let's assume you only spend the £2.80 in that area, right? So from Shoreditch to Soho, assuming we're walking down towards Liverpool Street, within our Shoreditch time, it would take maybe 20 minutes max. Again, most of that's walking time. If you're taking the Elizabeth line, it's literally like 7 minutes from Liverpool Street to Tottenham Court Road, which is what you need to get from those areas. So we've assumed we've walked towards Liverpool Street, which is technically south of Shoreditch, so it's taking 20 minutes. That would cost you £2.70. I get it's weird. I can't explain why it's weird. It's probably because everything's in zone 1, because there's the different zones for the tubes and stuff. So let's say the latest you get to Soho is 4, and you're gonna stay for 2.5 hours, and this is where you're doing pre-dinner drinks. Again, in Soho, it's a larger area, but it's either, again, a lot of food, some shopping. Most of the shopping is gonna be stores or like art galleries. So if you're into that, you could probably find an art gallery that's fun. But we're assuming you're going for drinks. We're assuming you're going for a pub, because London. Assuming you're going to a pub, and let's say between the two people, there's 4 drinks had, right? You're spending a minimum of £20. I looked it up. The average cost of a pint is like £5.90. You're spending minimum £20, because a glass of wine is more than a pint, and a mixed drink is more than that. So you're spending at least £20 in Soho. Honestly, realistically, for 4 drinks, you're closer to 30. But let's say you're doing that, you walk around, you have a good time. But you're ending close enough that you are walking distance to Oxford Circus tube station, because that is the tube station you will take to get to Brixton to go to dinner. We're assuming you're doing Brixton for dinner, right? And like, mind you, all these are pretty reasonable amounts of times to be spending in these areas. Like, you're not gonna be able to do everything, but also it's like you're never gonna want to do everything. And it is very dependent on what you like. If you like secondhand shopping, you're gonna spend more time in Brick Lane than you're probably gonna spend in Soho. Like, it is what it is, right? If you're more into the gay scene, Soho might be more time for you. It's whatever you want to do. And this is not gospel. This is just rough estimations. But to get from Soho to Brixton, it would take probably 25 minutes. Again, this includes your walking time, and it'll cost you another £2.80. You would get to Brixton around 7. And then I didn't put in a leave time because I didn't really care. So you're getting to dinner. Dinner's probably for like a nice sit down. If you're paying for, let's say you split the cost of an appetizer between 2 people and you get a main, that's probably already about £30 a person plus drinks. So you're probably spending no less than £60 there for dinner, for 2 people. And who knows what else you're doing with the night. She didn't say anything about that. She just said she enjoyed Brixton in the evening. And then Brixton back to Highgate is 30 minutes on a tube, and it costs it costs £3. Yeah, so not included is the West End, because Soho is technically in the West End, so you're in the West End. Other areas she discusses about, but did not need to be relatively put into the schedule, were Hackney. She says she wants to see Hackney, didn't say she went to Hackney. Hackney is, again, east. It's pretty inconvenient to get to in this schedule, because you need overgrounds to get there a lot of the time. And that she doesn't need to go to Bond Street, which is close to Soho, but I think technically not in Soho, but I think technically in the West End. It's weird, isn't it? So yeah, let's go over the overall cost of your day if you're doing this. I'm assuming they're doing this on a Saturday, so they have all the free time to move around and like things are still open, right? Because if you've ever been in London on a Sunday, some stores it's like a 70% chance they'll be open, and some places it's just like they're only open till 5, so you gotta like really get in, get out. So assuming we're on a Saturday, you would have paid in total $13.20 in your travel. However, the Sunday cap for travel between zones 1 to 3 on the London Tube system is £10, so you're not paying more than £10 in travel over your day, which is good. And that's per person, so that's £20 total for travel, which for how much you're doing, not bad. If you took buses, it'd be cheaper, but also if you took buses, it would be an hour and a half between each place. And then food and drink, you're probably spending no less than £110. Just, if we're basing this off of who Taylor Swift is and the tax bracket she is in, there's no way you're spending less than £110. You could, if you are not Taylor Swift. That is very easy to do. There are grocery stores everywhere. You can get a meal deal for under like £4 in a lot of grocery stores if you just don't want to be spending money like that on food, which is fair. Some people don't. So in conclusion, could you do this whole song in a day? Yeah, you could. You could. Would it be fun? Probably not. It'd be a lot of rushing around and timekeeping, but it also depends on when you want to consider the afternoon and like all that, because I included maybe a couple hours people wouldn't consider the afternoon, but as long as you're spending part of an afternoon at a place, it's the afternoon now, isn't it? Yeah, so that was my very, very long rambly rant about this and how it is possible to do in a day, and she's wrong. You'll be exhausted, it'll be horrible, but you could do it all in a day. Yeah, thank you for sitting through this with me. I know this was a rogue one, even for me. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else for this. Yeah, so I will see you when I see you. Hopefully I am getting more regular than I have been, but we will see. Okay, so bye. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I did cut my hair off. It is up right now because it is nasty. I'm gonna go wash it later, but yeah, it's about here now. In case you're wondering, besties, did that like 2 weeks ago. Just didn't tell any of you. Oopsies. Okay, yeah. For real, goodbye.